The call came at 6 in the morning. Hana was still awake, sitting in her apartment with the photograph of Joon-hyuk's sister on the table beside her. She hadn't slept. She hadn't eaten. She had just sat there, watching the harbor turn from black to gray to gold, thinking about a woman she had never met who had died because of her. Her phone buzzed. Minji. "Boss," her cashier said, voice tight, "you need to come to the warehouse, now." "What happened?" "Just come, please." Hana was out the door in 30 seconds. The warehouse smelled different in the morning. Without the smoke and whiskey and desperation of the night games, it just smelled like fish and salt and old wood. But today, there was something else beneath it. Blood. Hana pushed through the steel door. Minji stood by the baccarat table, her face pale, her hands shaking. Dong-soo was there too, standing in front of something Hana couldn't see yet. "What is it?" Hana demanded. Dong-soo stepped aside. The body lay behind the bar. Old Mr. An. He had been dealing cards for Hana since the beginning, 5 years ago, when the casino was just 2 tables in a basement and the whiskey came from a convenience store. He was 67 years old. He had arthritis in his hands but never complained. He called her boss lady and brought her homemade kimchi every Lunar New Year. Now he was on the floor, his eyes open, his throat cut from ear to ear, and in his mouth, tucked between his teeth like a final cigarette, was a playing card, the Ace of Spades. Hana's world went silent. She knelt beside the body. Her hands didn't shake. They never shook. She pulled the card from Mr. An's mouth. The corners were folded, a deliberate crease, the same on every ace. She had seen that fold before. 10 years ago, in Seoul, on the bodies of the Kim family. Do-hyun's signature, his calling card, his way of saying, "I was here. You are nothing." "Who found him?" she asked. Her voice was calm, too calm. "I did," Minji whispered. "I came in early to reconcile the books. The back door was unlocked, and he was just—" Hana stood up, turned to Dong-soo. "Check the security cameras, every angle. I want to know who came in, when they came in, and how they got past our locks." "Already started," Dong-soo said. His face was granite, but his eyes were dark. "Boss, this is soul work. The fold on the card. I've seen it before." "So have I." She walked to the bar, poured herself a whiskey, drank it standing over Mr. An's body. "Do we call the police?" "No," Hana and Dong-soo said at the same time. Hana set down the glass. "We handle this ourselves. Minji, I need you to find everyone who worked last night, everyone who saw anything. Dong-soo, I need you to get me names, every enemy we've made in the past year, every debtor who threatened us, every rival who wanted our territory. And if it's not any of them," Hana looked at the Ace of Spades still in her hand, "then it's who I think it is." She locked herself in her office for 3 hours. The Ace of Spades sat on her desk. She stared at it the way she might stare at a venomous snake, knowing it could kill her, needing to understand it anyway. Do-hyun's signature. But Do-hyun was in Seoul. Do-hyun was losing his empire, according to Joon-hyuk. Do-hyun shouldn't have the resources or the reach to send a killer to Busan. Unless he wasn't sending killers. Unless he had come himself. She pulled up the security footage on her computer. Dong-soo had already flagged the relevant time, 3:47 a.m. The cameras in the alley behind the warehouse showed a figure in black, moving like smoke, too fast and too smooth to be ordinary. The face was obscured, a hood, a mask, nothing identifiable. But the walk, the way the figure moved, Hana's blood turned to ice. She had seen that walk before, in a blood-soaked house in the suburbs, on a man who murdered an entire family and smiled about it afterward. Kang Do-hyun. He was here, in Busan, in her city. She replayed the footage 10 times. Each time she hoped she was wrong. Each time the walk was the same. Do-hyun. He wasn't coming for her territory. He wasn't coming for her money. He was coming for her, to finish what he started 10 years ago. She left the office at noon. Dong-soo was waiting outside the door, his arms crossed, his face unreadable. "Well?" he asked. "It's him." Dong-soo's jaw tightened. He'd heard the stories. Not all of them. Hana had never told anyone all of them, but enough. Kang Do-hyun, the Seoul Prince, the Seoul Butcher. Hana walked past him toward the main floor. He's not here to take over the casino. He's here to take me. Alive or dead, I don't know yet, but he's not leaving without me. Then we kill him first. We try. She stopped at the baccarat table. An's body was gone. Minji had arranged for discreet removal, a funeral home that asked no questions. But the bloodstain remained on the floor behind the bar. Do-hyun has been surviving assassination attempts for 20 years. His own father couldn't kill him. What makes you think we can? Because we have something his enemies never had. What's that? Dong-soo looked at her. You. Hana almost smiled. Almost. Get me everything on Do-hyun's operations in Busan. Safe houses, associates, women. I want to know where he sleeps, what he eats, and who he trusts. It'll take time. We don't have time. She turned to face him. Mr. An is dead because of me. I'm not letting anyone else die because I was too slow. Dong-soo nodded and left. Hana stood alone in the empty casino, the bloodstain at her feet, the ace of spades in her pocket. She could run. She had run before. She could disappear. New city, new name, new life. But she was tired of running, and Do-hyun had killed the wrong man. Joon-hyuk came that night. Not to the casino. Hana had closed it for the first time in 5 years. A sign on the door said plumbing issues. The regulars would know better. The ones who mattered would wait. He came to her apartment. She heard the knock at 9 o'clock, looked through the peephole, saw his scarred eyebrow and his careful smile. She opened the door. "How did you find out?" she asked. "I have people in Busan, people who talk." He stepped inside without being invited, looked around her apartment, the minimalist furniture, the view of the harbor, the empty whiskey bottle on the counter. "Mr. An, I'm sorry." "Don't." She closed the door. "You didn't know him." "Neither did Do-hyun. That's the point." Joon-hyuk turned to face her. "He's sending a message, not to your crew, to you. He wants you scared. He wants you off balance. He wants you to make mistakes." "I don't make mistakes." "You made one 10 years ago. You ran instead of fighting." Hana's eyes flashed. "I was 20 years old. I had no money, no weapons, no allies. What was I supposed to do? Stay and let him kill me?" "No." Joon-hyuk stepped closer. "You were supposed to stay and let me help you, but you ran before I could explain." "Explain what?" "That I've been waiting 10 years for a chance to kill him, and you're the only one who can give me that chance." Hana laughed. It was a hard, bitter sound. "You want me to trust you. Again, the same man who works for him, the same man who was his right hand for a decade." "Was," Joon-hyuk said. Past tense. "He killed my sister, Hana. Whatever I was to him before that, it's over." "Then why are you still alive? If you've turned against him, why hasn't he killed you?" "Because he doesn't know." Joon-hyuk's voice dropped. "I've been playing the loyal soldier for 3 years, smiling to his face, pouring his whiskey, watching him laugh about the woman he murdered. And every night I go home and plan how to destroy him." He reached into his jacket. Hana tensed, but he only pulled out a folded piece of paper. "His schedule for the next 2 weeks, where he'll be, who he'll be with, when he's vulnerable." Hana took the paper and folded it, scanned the names, the locations, the times. "You could have given this to anyone. Why me?" "Because you're the only one he fears. I'm a casino boss in Busan. He doesn't fear me. He fears what you represent." Joon-hyuk's eyes were intense. "You're the one who got away, the one who saw him at his worst and ran. Every other woman he's had, they stayed, they lied, they died. But you left. And in his mind, that makes you the greatest threat to his power. Hana folded the paper, slipped it into her pocket. I can protect you, Joon-hyuk said, but you have to trust me. She laughed again, louder this time. I don't trust anyone. That's how I've survived. Then trust this. He stepped so close she could smell his cologne, wood smoke and citrus. Do-hyun is going to keep killing your people until you come to him. First Mr. An, then your dealer, then your cashier, then your lieutenant. He will burn your entire world to the ground, and he will do it while smiling, because that's who he is. And what are you? I'm the man who wants to watch him burn instead. She threw him out. Not physically, Dong-soo wasn't there to do the throwing, but she opened the door and pointed to the hallway. Get out. Hana, I said get out. Joon-hyuk didn't argue. He walked to the door, paused with his hand on the frame, and looked back at her. The offer stands. When you're ready to stop running, I'll be at the hotel. Don't wait up. He left. Hana locked the door, leaned against it, pressed her forehead to the cool wood and breathed. She didn't trust him. She couldn't trust him. He had worked for Do-hyun for a decade. He helped cover up murders. He had done things she didn't want to know about. But he had also given her money, sent her to his sister, kept her secret for 10 years, and his sister was dead because of her. She walked to the window, stared at the harbor. The ships moved in and out, indifferent to her war. I can protect you, but you have to trust me. Trust was a luxury she couldn't afford. Every person she had ever trusted either died or betrayed her. Her mother, who had sold her to Do-hyun for gambling debts. Do-hyun, who had promised to love her and shown her blood instead. The friends she had made in Busan, who had disappeared when things got difficult. The only person she trusted was herself. But herself wasn't enough anymore. She pulled out the schedule Joon-hyuk had given her, studied it. Do-hyun would be at a private club in Haeundae tomorrow night, meeting with local businessmen, buying allies. She could send someone, Dong-soo, a shooter, end it from a distance. But Do-hyun had survived distance killers before. He had survived poison, bombs, car accidents. He had survived everything except someone close enough to look him in the eye, and Hana was the only one who could get that close. She set down the paper, looked at her reflection in the window, a woman with cold eyes and steady hands, and a heart that had stopped feeling anything a long time ago. Or so she had told herself. Tomorrow night, she would go to that club, not because she trusted Joon-hyuk, because she was done hiding.